So, where do you begin in missions? Every context is different, every location is different, and every people group within that or strata within that is a little different. And so you have to be entrepreneurial. You have to be experimental. You have to be willing to try to connect. And you have to be willing to fail at times, but also begin with some low-hanging fruit. Let me give an example. We have a couple in Honduras who were trying to engage their area, and they had heard about some Indians that lived up on a mountain quite a bit of ways from the city that they lived in. Well, they went up on this mountain. It required, a 4x4. And they looked around, they saw these kids, and they said, what if we started a soccer game for these kids? Now, these poor children, they're excited that someone would come and love them enough to organize a soccer game. That soccer game then took off. What happened as a result? I wonder how we can minister to the moms of these kids who are now coming out for their soccer games. Well, let's teach them a skill. Let's get them together. And out of that, actually, a church was birthed and a movement was birthed. Let me tell you about another situation. Gang-ridden area in a city. Man from that city goes in. God says, I want you to go back. I want you to start churches. Where do you even begin? If he wanders into a different section of the city, he dies. It's that violent. He wanders into a section, doesn't know he's there. It looks threatening. Someone comes up and recognizes him from grade school when they played soccer together. And out of that, a whole ministry was birthed that resulted in even some of the eradication of those gangs. We can talk about Native American ministries. We can talk about addiction ministries. We can talk about Cambodian ministries. We can go down the line of all of the ways that Missions Door is making an impact in the world based on being creative and looking around at ways that we can connect. That is a skill set. That is all about how much you love people. Because for so long in missions, the idea was, here's your package, go sell it. Or get over there, speak the language, but this is how we do things. Make sure they do it this way. And Missions Door has taken the other approach, which is to say, wait, what if we got in there and said, Lord, how can you use this context for your glory? And how could that inform the other nations that are there? We come in from a position of humility, which I think gives us a measure of creativity to make a real difference in the lives of men and women wherever they live, work, and play.